So you've heard that sleep paralysis can lead to an astral projection or lucid dream, right? But no one ever tells you how to actually trigger it. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how. My name is Steven Carva, and I help people consciously explore outside the physical realm through altered states of consciousness. Today, we're diving into sleep paralysis. Not so much what it is, because I already covered that in the last video, so check that out if you haven't yet, but more about how to actually understand it deeply enough to know how to induce it on purpose. Now, there's something about sleep paralysis that almost no one really talks about. And I want to start there because I feel this is key to understanding why this state happens in the first place. Now, most people assume sleep paralysis is random, that it just happens out of nowhere. But in reality, it usually happens when your body is way more exhausted than your mind. When you're physically tired to the point where your body is just desperate to shut down, it'll drop straight into a deep rest mode or even REM the moment you lie perfectly still. But if your mind hasn't caught up yet, if it's still alert or you're consciously keeping awareness, the two will fall out of sync. So what you get is this overlap. Your body has already gone to sleep, but your consciousness hasn't. So your muscles are switched off. That's your body's natural way of keeping you from acting out your dreams. But your mind is still online, and that's the state we call sleep paralysis. It's not dangerous, it's not supernatural, it's just your body and mind not fully clocking out at the same time. Now, before we dive into the how, I want to be clear about something. You don't need to experience sleep paralysis in order to astral project or lucid dream. That's one of the biggest misconceptions out there. Sleep paralysis isn't the goal, okay? It's a transitional state. As a matter of fact, you don't have to force yourself into paralysis or even feel slightly paralyzed at all to reach that state you need to be in. You can still go through the same sensations, the heaviness, the vibrations, the floating, and project or lucid dream without your body being completely locked. The key is entering that mind awake, body asleep stage. That's the real doorway. Now, if you do want to trigger sleep paralysis intentionally, you've got to understand the conditions that make it more likely to happen. The main one is exhaustion. Sleep paralysis usually happens when your body is really tired. When you're that tired, your body drops into REM faster than usual. And if your mind lingers just a little behind, that's when paralysis kicks in. Another important thing, and this might go against what you've heard, is you don't need to lie on your back. That's a myth. Yeah, sleeping on your back might make paralysis a bit more likely because it's a position where your body tends to relax evenly, but it's not required. You can do this in any position as long as you're comfortable. The goal is deep relaxation, not a perfect posture. If you're uncomfortable, you'll fidget, and that ruins the process. So here's how you do it, step by step. Step 1, as I mentioned, get yourself genuinely tired. This can be after a long active day, or you can even use the wake back to bed method if you want to make it more predictable. With wake back to bed, you go to bed at your normal time, set an alarm for about 5 hours later, wake up for 10 to 15 minutes, and then go back to bed. Even with wake back to bed, the chances of entering sleep paralysis will still be way higher if your body is tired from the day before. If you're someone who's already naturally exhausted at the end of the day, you don't need wake back to bed. However, you might just be laying there in bed for a pretty long time. The times vary, but for me, it might take up to 60 or 90 minutes before sleep paralysis kicks in. All depends of level of tiredness. But if you find that you just keep blacking out the second you lie down, then wake back to bed helps balance that. Your body is still sleepy, but your mind has just enough wakefulness to stay alert. Step 2, find your position, any position, side, back, whatever's comfortable. The most important part is stillness. Once you've settled, close your eyes and let your breathing slow down naturally. Step 3, now comes the mental part. You need to stay awake while your body falls asleep. That means no moving, no opening your eyes, nothing physical. This is all mental work. You can use a light focus, maybe on your breathing or by repeating a phrase like I'm aware, or what I personally repeat, mind awake, body asleep, mind awake, body asleep. And just keep your awareness gentle. Step 4, this is where the back and forth begins, okay? Your body is ready to sleep, but your mind is trying to stay just a step behind it. you'll start to feel waves of heaviness, or maybe your mind starts to play tricks on you. You'll get random itches, the urge to move, or those little like muscle twitches that test your focus. Sometimes you'll even catch yourself halfway into a dream, but still aware that you're awake. That's the sweet spot. That's where you want to be. It's a delicate balancing act between letting go and staying conscious. Now, here's the tricky part. You can't rush it. Okay, you have to let your body fall asleep. That keeps that tiny spark of awareness alive. The moment you start trying too hard to stay awake, you'll snap yourself out of it. Too much effort, too much focus, it works against you. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's true. That's why a gentle awareness is key. Just let the body do its thing. When it's finally shut down, you know it feels like your body just fades away completely. And it's at that moment you might realize you cannot move. So don't panic. That's exactly what we're after. This is sleep paralysis. You're conscious, but your body's asleep. If you've reached this point, congratulations. You're in the perfect place now for projection or lucid dreaming. Now, what you do in this state determines everything. You might feel vibrations, a light buzzing, or a floaty feeling, like your body might be swaying or rising. These are signs of consciousness separating from the physical. So stay calm, let it happen. If you want to astral project, then you can imagine yourself rolling out of bed, okay? And don't try to roll out physically. It's all about the intention and awareness. So you roll yourself out of bed with your thoughts, with intention. You feel yourself almost making a movement, but not actually making it. And with your thoughts, you complete that full roll out of bed. If your goal is to enter a lucid dream, the process is a bit more passive. Behind your closed eyes, you'll start to notice flashes of imagery, okay, shapes, scenes, or colors forming on their own. Don't try to force anything. Just relax and let your awareness gently merge with whatever appears in front of you. As you do, those images will begin to feel more real. The colors, the sounds, the atmosphere, it will all start to come alive. Let your consciousness naturally drift into that scene, almost like you're being pulled into it. And before you realize it, you'll find yourself fully inside the dream. Now, keep in mind that sometimes during this stage, people will report feeling pressures on their chest or sensing something dark in the room during paralysis. That's totally normal. It's just your mind blending dream imagery with physical awareness. Nothing's actually there and you're completely safe. Now, if you never reach full paralysis, as in, you cannot move your body, even if you wanted to, but still feel those same symptoms, the heaviness, the vibrations, then that's just as good. You can use that same point to project or enter a lucid dream. Remember, it's the state that matters, not whether you can move or not, all right? So to sum it all up, you don't need to chase paralysis every night. It's not required. But if you understand how it works, you can use it intentionally as a launchpad into deeper states of consciousness. If you try this, let me know in the comments what happened. Did you feel the heaviness, the buzzing, or did you reach the paralysis stage? I want to hear your stories because every one of them helps others learn how real this state truly is. That's all for today, guys. I hope you found this video interesting and that it inspires you to actually give it a try. I've added a written guide on how to induce sleep paralysis with extra commentary, tips, insights. It's over on my Patreon. If that's something you're interested in, the link is in the description below. I talk about everything related to altered states of consciousness here. Anything from astral projection, lucid dreaming, dimensional travel, quantum jumping, and so much more. So if you're curious about exploring beyond the limits of ordinary reality, make sure to subscribe and join me for more. Inside my Patreon, I have a tier where you can have one-on-one direct messaging with me. So I can clear up any questions that you may have, but also there are Q&A videos. I share exclusive methods, insights, step-by-step guides on how to achieve all the different altered states of consciousness. It's all there. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you all again soon.
Because I am more than physical man, I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world.